CVM News at 7 Tuesday, brought to you by KFC.
Crispy barbecue zinger from KFC. Available for a limited time. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Tonight in CVM News at 7, Prime Minister says election will be called when victory is certain. Schoolboy drowns in Manchester, and Manchester woman charged following shooting death of 4-year-old daughter. In the business report, NMIA upgrade update 2025. While in sports, Reggae Boys edge Trinidad and Tobago to reach Unity Cup final. From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7. It's Tuesday, May 27, 2025. I'm Nika Lewis. Thank you so much for joining us. A tragedy in Craighead, Manchester on Monday has left a family and a school community in mourning and several youngsters traumatized. Police reports are that a group of teenagers went for a swim in the Hectors River in the area. 2 of the boys reportedly began experiencing difficulties, and the other intervened. While they managed to save one friend, unfortunately, they were unable to rescue 17-year-old Orlando Sigree, a student of the Troy High School in Trelawney. His body was fished from the water and citizens were alerted of the drowning. The police were notified and an investigation commenced. Formally laid charges against the Manchester woman whose 4-year-old daughter allegedly shot and killed herself a week ago at their home in the parish. The 38-year-old has been charged with child negligence and breach of duty to securely store firearm and ammunition following an incident. The tragic incident. Authorities launched an investigation after reports surfaced that Gia Grinnell gained access to her mother's licensed firearm before it went off and fatally wounded her. Detectives charged the mother Monday evening after questioning her about the circumstances surrounding the weapon storage. She has since been offered bail, though her court date is still being finalized. Law enforcement officials continue to emphasize the critical need for responsible firearm handling, particularly in homes with children. A wave of outrage continues to ripple through the public health sector following the brutal attack on a nurse in St. Andrew. Health workers in St. James staged another protest today, standing firmly against gender-based violence and demanding systemic change. Here now is Shante McNeil.
In another show of solidarity for victims of gender-based violence, including a member of the health sector who was assaulted in St. Andrew by businessman Robert Bell, members of the St. James Public Health Services marched in Sam Sharp Square, Montego Bay, denouncing the brutal act. The health services manager, Lennox Wallace, condemns what he views as a systematic issue of abuse of women and children.
Time now that we stop the violence against healthcare workers, against women and against our children in society. We want to say to these abusers, stop it now. You are less than a man. I am supporting my staff 100% because despite of what is happening, we have to go there to serve the very persons that they are abusing when they become patient.
And while widespread violence has been the main subject matter in recent times, a call is also being made to stop violence not just against women, but also men.
And we also say violence is a no-no to both men and women because we are aware that sometimes men too suffer from violence, and because they suffer from violence, in turn, concerned, they do it also to women. So we are saying across Jamaica, let us stop violence right now.
And as they continue to rally for change, Wallace commended the work of the Jamaica Constabulary Force.
We know that the police is doing a fantastic job in protecting us as healthcare workers, in protecting the females of this country, the professionals of this country, to rid the streets of violent behavior, as that we would have seen in the videos perpetrated by this man. The laws, I'm not speaking as a judge, but I am saying that I am sure, I believe in the justice system. I believe that that gentleman and others, they will serve the time that they need to serve.
Bell, now before the courts, faces multiple charges, including assault occasioning actual bodily harm, assault with intent to cause grievous bodily harm, assault at common law, possession of a firearm with intent to commit a first scheduled offense, and possession of a firearm with intent to cause injuries. Police say the May 13 attack stemmed from a road rage incident when the nurse's vehicle was impeded by Bell's vehicle and later assaulted while on her way to work. Shanti McNeil, CVM News.
Threats to file a civil matter in the Supreme Court against the opposition spokesman on health, Dr. Alfred Doors, by medical firm Meditech and MP Donovan Williams have finally borne fruit, the evidence of which was substantiated in a 13-page claim dated May 26, 2025. Among the remedies being sought, an injunction against the perpetuation of the message by Doors or any other, and damages for defamation.
The claim form notes that first claimant, Medical Technologies Limited or Meditech, and second claimant, the JLP Central Kingston MP Donovan Williams, are seeking damages for defamation from defendant Dr. Alfred Doors. Among the remedies being sought, damages for defamation and an injunction restraining the defendant or others from repeating the claims in relation to the $31 million neurosurgical drill for the Bustamante Hospital for Children at the heart of the contention. The claim, initiated by Medical Technologies Limited, follows strong rebuttals from the company over statements made by Doors regarding the pricing and authenticity of the equipment supplied to the hospital. Medical Technologies has insisted that the drill purchased by Sarah was new and properly acquired, dismissing accusations of overpricing as false. The lawsuit signals a decisive move by the company and the MP said to be connected to the entity defending their reputation, with legal teams now prepared to challenge Doors' claims in court. The matter is expected to draw significant attention as the dispute unfolds. Efforts to get a comment from Dr. Doors on the matter up to news time proved futile. Angela Melville, CVM News.
The management of the University Hospital of the West Indies, UHWI, says it is standing firmly in support of Dr. Carl Bruce, consultant neurosurgeon and medical chief of staff. In a statement, the University Hospital says it is unequivocally refuting recent suggestions seeking to cast doubt on his credentials or imply conflicts of interest. The release says Dr. Bruce is a highly respected medical professional whose qualifications, experience and contributions to healthcare in Jamaica and the wider region are beyond question. It adds that recent suggestions seeking to cast doubt on his credentials or imply that he holds positions that create a conflict of interest are both inaccurate and misleading. According to the hospital, Dr. Bruce is not a director nor a shareholder in any company that compromises his duties at the University Hospital. The UHWI says it remains confident in Dr. Bruce's ability and continues to benefit from his outstanding contributions to healthcare delivery, teaching and institutional development. Despite calls from the opposition for the Prime Minister to announce the general elections, Prime Minister Holness is insisting he will not be calling the elections until he's certain of victory. Adrian Williams files this update.
As the election engine revs up, jubilant cheer filled the air in southwest St. Elizabeth. However, Prime Minister Andrew Holness cautioned that there will not be any rush into an election.
We're going to make sure that before you call an election, all our workers must touch base with the voters in their community. That is what we mean when we say we are going to make the calling of the election sure.
The PM encouraged party workers and the supporters to have all hands on deck.
For this army to get up and fight for what we have achieved, to keep this train on track, everyone must be on board. All hands on deck.
In a jab-throwing speech at the PNP, Member of Parliament MP Floyd Green again presented the perspective that all the issues being fixed is as a result of the previous PNP administration failing to do what they should have done.
If them did do some work, our work will not so hard. But we have to fix our communities that support us traditionally and communities that support them traditionally. So we fix Round Hill and we fix Blunters. We fix Great Bay and we fix Sandy Bank. We have had to do the work, not for one party, for two parties, for all of Jamaica, to move Jamaica forward.
Boosting the supporters in the room was Minister of Education, Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon, highlighting the importance of the party workers.
Don't feel is Andrew Holness or Floyd or me, is you do it. Is you go and walk the street. Is you go and get the vote. Is you. So I want you to stand tall, stand with pride. Say, I am a member of the Jamaica Labour Party.
The PNP's Miranda Wellington is the MP candidate for Southwest St. Elizabeth. Will she pack enough steam to overrun Minister Green in what the JLP dubs a third-term loading? Adrian Williams for CVM News.
We take a break on CVM News at 7. Stay with us.
The last eclipse of our galaxy. Scientists are gathered here today to witness this extraordinary event. Simply marvelous, extraordinary, unforgettable, one of a kind. Oh man, that's amazing.
You can't ignore the craving that makes everything crunch. The crispy barbecue zinger is back with barbecue sauce, cheddar cheese, bacon, and crispy onions on a spicy zinger filet. KFC, it's finger licking good.
While others see customers as numbers, we see our customers as people, neighbors, friends who deserve more than one-sided connections. That's why we're redefining what real connection is, prioritizing our customers and showing our appreciation by putting our money where your loyalty is. Flow customers, get your $20,000 supermarket card when you add postpaid mobile for only $3,700 plus GCT to your current internet plan. That's loyalty that flows both ways.
From politics to global events, from social issues to breaking news, Lead Story Prime dives deeper, cuts through the noise, and uncovers the stories that shape your world. Join us every Tuesday at 8 p.m. for Lead Story Prime with me, George Davis, for an hour of incisive analysis, expert interviews, and unparalleled coverage of the issues you care about. Lead Story Prime, your front row seat to the most compelling discussions. Lead Story Prime, where the truth comes first. Only on CVM TV.
Welcome back. Continuing the news. Minister with responsibility for works, Robert Morgan, is advising the nation to adequately prepare for the upcoming hurricane season. The hurricane season can potentially yield negative repercussions on the nation's citizens. More in this report.
Jamaicans were left distraught last year when Hurricane Beryl left the nation in a desolate state. Several families suffered losses which have scarred them to this day. In just 5 days, the hurricane season begins. The prediction is that it will be a busy one. In light of this, Works Minister Robert Morgan says the government is making strong efforts to adequately prepare. According to Morgan, allocations have been made to various constituencies.
Well, from where I sit at the National Works Agency and the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, we would have allocated to various constituencies a doubling of their allocation for drain cleaning for this year. So constituencies are actually in preparation for their drain cleaning, which will assist in reducing flooding and protecting life and property.
The minister also highlighted how difficult of a task it is to get the gullies nationwide to be cleaned. Clearing debris would assist in the effort to minimize heavy flooding during the hurricane season.
The sad thing about it is that Jamaica has more roads and gullies than per capita than most countries in the world. So it would take us a significant sum to more than what our budget could ever even contemplate to make sure we clean every gully and every drain.
The stockpiling of emergency supplies can become a necessity in dire times of need. Morgan highlighted to our news team that the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM, has been thinking ahead and has already begun the stockpiling process.
They stockpile generators, as you saw in Beryl, where persons were able to borrow generators from ODPEM, blankets, and so on. The Ministry of Labour and Social Security, headed by Colonel Charles Jr., also has stockpiles of food and emergency supplies. Jamaica is very experienced in disaster management. I mean, you saw what happened in Beryl. We were able to recover very quickly from Beryl.
Minister Morgan says that the livelihood of farmers in particular are oftentimes negatively impacted in the aftermath of hurricanes. As a result, Morgan advised farmers to keep themselves and their property secure during the season.
Farmers tend to be the most vulnerable when it comes to rain, heavy rain and flooding. You must find ways to secure your animals, but primarily you must find ways to secure yourself. You won't be able to replant the field if you're not here with us. But the Ministry of Agriculture does have its protocols too, rather through its extension officers.
Angela Melville, CVM News.
A major drainage system in Falmouth Trelawney is finally getting some much-needed attention. The critical waterway that carries water from the town into the sea has been heavily clogged due to illegal dumping by residents. Local authorities and residents started the cleanup effort as part of Labor Day efforts. The mayor of Falmouth, Colin Gager, calls for residents to refrain from using the drain for improper garbage disposal. With more, here's Shante McNeil.
Garbage strewn and barely flowing. The dragline drain in Falmouth Trelawney has become a growing concern for local authorities. Mayor of Falmouth Colin Gager says the residents are using the drain as an illegal dump site.
So you have people just dumping in the train, dumping in the dragline, dumping bottles, dumping old pan, dumping things from their homes, especially those persons that is living on the bank of the draggy. So this is used for just an area that from time to time a lot of garbage will accumulate.
The mayor partnered with residents to clean the drain for their Labor Day project, but he says one day of cleaning is not enough.
We thought that we would start this off as a Labor Day project and we would start the cleaning, getting the community persons to come out and participate in the cleaning. That was done, and we find that there was still work that was left, and that work had to go on beyond Labor Day.
While the Labor Day cleanup is a start, Mayor Gager says it will take continued vigilance and community cooperation to keep the drain clean. Ahead of the hurricane season, he adds that the cleanup could save the community from flooding.
What that has done for the community of Falmouth and for the hurricane season that is coming up, it is helping to have a smooth flow of water back to the sea. And therefore, you won't have the water spreading into the drains, going into the town, going into people's homes, and then you have a flooding that could happen.
The mayor also calls for residents to dispose their garbage in the correct manner, adding he's collaborating with the National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA.
Let us be careful and be mindful of the way we dispose of our garbage. Let us make sure solid waste was on board with me. They are willing and ready to collect the garbage. Don't throw them in the drag line. Just make sure that you put them in the right package, and when the truck comes, you deliver and they will take it up.
Mr. Gager says he's pushing for the safety of the locals and their livelihoods. Angela Melville, CVM News.
Meanwhile, tragedy struck in Clarendon today as a motor vehicle crash along Decoy Road in Tollgate claimed the life of one individual. He's been identified as 19-year-old Jamal Asher. Details surrounding the circumstances of the crash are still emerging, and police are continuing their investigations. We'll have more in this developing story. Stay with us. There's lots more to come following the break.
At Yours Truly Clinic Health, we provide care that feels like home. Our nurse caregivers offer professional and compassionate support, so your loved ones are always in safe hands. Our nurse nannies help children learn and grow with confidence, because care isn't just about health, it's about happiness too. For convenient nursing care, call or WhatsApp 876-509-5019 or visit our website at yourstrulyclinihealth.com. Trusted care delivered with ease, supporting families and bringing quality nursing to your doorstep.
Let's delve deep into the issues. We'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Alfred Higgins, and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's a live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yeah.
Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
Thanks so much for staying with us. Welcome to Tech Pulse, where we explore the world of innovation and applications taking global industries by storm. Let's take a look at life-altering technologies being explored and how experts and consumers are reacting to them. In Tech Pulse today,
no blood donors, no type matching, no expiration panic. What if the future of survival was built in a lab? Every year, millions need blood. We face shortages and donations that don't reach on time. Scientists are engineering artificial blood from stem cells, recombinant proteins, even marine algae. It mimics hemoglobin, carries oxygen, and never needs refrigeration. Some versions can act as oxygen sponges in extreme trauma. Others are fully synthetic, no immune rejection. It's made for battlefields, remote clinics, even deep space. From medics to Mars, it flows where real blood can't. And when time is blood, drones can fly synthetic packs to patients in less than 30 minutes. Artificial blood is already here, rewriting life one drop at a time.
That said, Japan has developed a groundbreaking artificial blood that doesn't need matching and lasts much longer than donated blood. This universal blood can be given to anyone, making it a game changer for treating severe blood loss in emergencies. Created by researchers at the National Defense Medical College, the artificial blood contains red blood cells and platelets and has already been tested in animals. In trials, it successfully saved 6 out of 10 test subjects, showing how it could transform trauma care and military medicine. Unlike real blood, which has a short shelf life and needs to match patients' blood type, this artificial blood can be stored for a year at room temperature. This means it could be a vital tool in disaster zones and remote areas, solving supply and compatibility challenges once and for all. Still on medical innovation, Former Google engineer and well-known futurist Ray Kurzweil says humans might become immortal within the next 7 years. Yes, you heard it here first. Kurzweil has made 147 predictions in his career, and he says most have come true. In his 2005 book, he wrote that by 2030, we could stop aging thanks to new technologies like genetics, nanotechnology, and robots, tiny nanorobots that can repair our cells and tissues. Kabbalist Dr. Michael Laitman reacts to Kurzweil's saying that advances in science will enable man to live forever.
And this means that if you manage to live for another 10 years, you and all other people have a good chance of never dying. What do you think? God help us. I thought that that's the paradise that the texts talk about, that we don't die. Paradise. I thought it was hell. Why? What's good about us constantly living all the time? No matter what I do, I won't die. Then why live altogether? If to take your point of view to the extreme, it is worthwhile living for a certain period of time in order to achieve something in life and then to continue it in a different way.
Scary or exciting? What are your thoughts on living forever? That's it for Tech Pulse this week, where we peer into the future of innovation, artificial intelligence, and more. After all, the future is now. And I tell you what else is now. It's an advanced look at sports with Jordan Fort.
Yeah, and we're not living forever in sports, but what we can tell you is coming up later on is that the Reggae Boys and Trinidad and Tobago battled in the clash of the West Indies in the Unity Cup in England. The Reggae Boys narrowly coming out on top. I'll tell you more about that in sports. Plus, we're talking about the Tornadoes swim meet, and guess what? An Olympian will be in attendance. More on that in sports later on.
You get me excited. I'm going to wait for it. So you should too, right after this.
So I'm sure you took her to a doctor, and what did he say?
He said that she had a hole in her heart. She's a blue baby.
I thought I would find my papa, but I didn't. I found Uncle Jungly instead.
I will divorce her. It's what you want.
Ganga.
Brought to you by
Hyundai or Hyundai.
Hey you know all the people in your business?
You should take advantage of CVM TV's unbeatable small business advertising package. Trust me.
And get your goods and services in front of your customers today.
For $150,000, you get a high-quality professional commercial, plus 20 prime-time commercial spots.
That's massive exposure at a fraction of the cost.
Including on the #1 morning show in Jamaica, Sunrise.
So don't wait. Call us on 658-208-5377 and see your business goals happen right here on CVM Television.
Come rise with sunrise. It's such a mighty takeover. We're serving up some blessings in Wednesday service. Then we'll hit the books in Sunrise Book Club. We'll set sail with a Jamaican boat festival and your morning wraps with wags. Why Not Wednesday is powered by Flow. You've never seen a sunrise quite like this.
The crispy barbecue zinger from KFC. Available for a limited time. KFC, it's finger licking good.
The time by KFC is...
Happy you stayed, and you're just in time for the business report with Joel Crossgill.
Lots to share with you in the business report today. It's well known that comparison is often the thief of joy. However, what you don't measure, you can't manage. So, having been named the most improved airport in Latin America and the Caribbean in 2015 by the prestigious Airports Council International Airport Service Quality, achieving the number 2 ranking in the region in the fourth quarter of that year, the Norman Manley International Airport's descent down the rankings to as low as 71 of 72 has been a cause for concern for passengers and onlookers alike. However, when the PAC Kingston Airport Limited PACAL, a member of GAP, the Mexican operators of Norman Manley International Airport NMIA, last year announced plans to spend $143 million on upgrades intended to evolve the aviation gateway to Kingston, even beyond its former glory, hope was renewed. An update was provided by Sitara English Byfield, CEO PAC Kingston Airport Limited, during the biannual Airport Forum, where interested parties were provided a progress report on the 5-year improvement roadmap of the NMIA.
The biggest project of the concession, the runway extension, the 300-meter runway extension for the implementation of RISA at both ends of the runway, is ongoing. We have completed the design phase. It's with our regulator for approval. A major part of this project is that we need to displace the threshold, that is, shrink the length of the runway by 300 meters to allow for the construction of the 300-meter extension to continue while flights are operating, so that we don't have to close the airport. Because if we should close the airport to facilitate this project at nights only, the project would take much longer than 3 years. We're time-bound to complete it in 3 years.
Adding to the overall passenger experience, an overhaul of the restrooms is currently underway. The installation of additional escalators is also being processed. 4 of 8 existing passenger loading bridges have been upgraded. 6 new 3D X-ray machines have been secured, and the baggage conveyor is set to be modernized. Director of Maintenance Catherine Prendergast details another significant project set to come on stream.
Roof, which is our main terminal roof, which is a metal-clad roof. This roof was done during the expansion of the terminal building of the Norman Manley Airport in 2006. The designers, manufacturers, and installers of that original roof are Palgag out of Israel. You would have known that from Beryl last year, we had a section of our roof taken away by that Catford girl, and we did a temporary repair in-house because we had some sections available to us. However, it needs to be permanently repaired. We tried locally to see if we could find companies that would assist us, but based on the design and the material used, it is not something that's readily available in Jamaica. So we had to reach out across the waters to Israel. We have engaged a company who have manufactured all the components required to do the permanent repair of that damaged section, but also just to give us an overall repair and update and rehab of the roof. I said 2006, we're roughly 17 years on that roof, so it's fair enough. They're coming this far, might as well have everything done. So they are shipping their containers next week, and we're hoping for landfall in Jamaica by July, and the period of that project will be 8 months to complete that refurbishment.
And speaking of overhead, the airport's energy infrastructure is also set for a major shift.
We're doing phase 2 of a solar farm. We have a phase 1 that is 2.8 megawatts. This one will take us to 5 megawatts capacity with an 8 megawatt storage. We're hoping to not use much of JPS's power. After this project is complete, it's a cost of $8.1 million. The previous phase was about $2.5 million.
And before we taxi, here are a few of the key metrics relating to the general performance of the airport in spite of the challenges.
Between 2019 October, when we started operating, and April 2025, we have contributed $220 million US dollars, or 34.8 billion Jamaican dollars, to the economy in the form of revenue share to the government of 163 million US dollars, taxes of $9 million US dollars, capital expenditure so far of $48 million. That's a total of $220 million. As I mentioned in my greeting, January was the highest January we've ever seen at Norma Manley. And now we're at 580,000 passengers up to April 2025. Finally, above 2019. We are only 10% above. We are 10% above 2024.
And that was your business report. I'm Joel Crosskill.
Let's find out what's happening on social media.
So, what's trending online today? A 38-year-old woman, mother of the 4-year-old girl shot dead at their Mandeville home last week, has been charged with child negligence and failing to securely store a firearm and ammunition. Here are some of your reactions. At Tan DA Queen _1998 posts, this is really a sad situation. Parents, if you have a firearm, please secure it properly. And the least you can do is teach your children it is not something to play with. I wish this does not repeat itself. At Nordia.Evans comments, I will not bash that mother. I don't know her. A beautiful baby lost her life. But let we as mothers reflect and put ourselves in her shoes. At Kiva _V Ellis adds, losing a child in this manner will be perpetual punishment. Parenting is surely not a walk in the park. At NXHS writes, this rough. I truly cannot imagine the pain. A caring parent truly won't rest. At Adams _Jadine shares, everything we no quick for jump but careless. Accidents do happen. Uno are going like uno perfect. And that's what's happening on our local social media platforms. Continue to share your thoughts with us on X at CVM TV and CVM _television on Instagram. I'm Michael Paul.
We now turn to regional and international news.
We begin with news in the region. President Dr. Irfan Ali has announced that Guyana's general and regional elections will be held on Monday, September 1, 2025. The Guyanese head of state made the announcement as he gave his presidential address for Guyana's 59th independence anniversary. More from Newsroom Guyana.
And the construct of our Constitution. I had discussions with the chairwoman of GCOM, and having been assured of their readiness, I decided to name the 1st of September 2025 as a day